This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook at audiblepodcast.com/TYT. Go. Well, you know, Anna, we were talking about the birds, right? The birds are dropping dead all over. You get Kentucky, Alabama, et cetera, right? Well, finally someone has fessed up to why some of the birds have died. In South Dakota, in Yankton, South Dakota, another couple hundred birds dropped dead. People are like, I wonder what happened. They're wondering about all this stuff. And the U.S. government comes in and goes, yeah, our bad. That was us. Okay.
Months, like almost a month later.
Okay, so now why? Why was South Dakota the U.S. government? It turns out they have a fairly secret program to poison birds. Okay, gee, I wonder if that could have resulted in the other birds' deaths. I'm sure it was fireworks. So let me explain. It's been around since the 1960s. It's called, the program's name is called Bye Bye Blackbird. Gee, I wonder why the birds are dying. Okay. Now, why do they want to poison the birds? That seems strange, right? It's not strange when you find out why. Because the farmers hate the birds. Okay. And why? This is great. 3 main reasons. The birds take a dump on their cows, and they don't like that. They take a dump on their equipment, and then they got to clean it all the time. They don't like that. But mainly because the birds eat their feed. And for example, European starlings, which they call nuisance birds, can eat up to 200 pounds of feed a day. So they're eating the feed, they're pooping all over the place. So the U.S. government not only sanctions poisoning them, but allows bird hitmen, I'm not kidding, to kill as many birds as they like. They don't have to document it, and they don't have to say how much, and they have a blanket immunity to kill these kinds of birds.
Oh, that's interesting. So, but what I'm wondering is, if they've been doing these experiments since the 60s, why is it that all these birds are dying today?
Now, the thing is, birds die all the time, right? And in fact, there's a stunning number in here. About 5 billion birds die every year according in the U.S., okay? Across the U.S. Now, that's a huge, huge number. Now, but they die one at a time. There's a lot of birds, of course, right? And when they start dying in flocks, now that happens sometimes too, but they usually die near the trees because that's where they've been poisoned, right? Purposely, by us, right? Here they were saying, well, they're not by the trees, they're flying and then dying later, right? In the other cases. South Dakota, they say, okay, that's us, right? The others, we're not sure if it was us, we don't know what happened, etc. My theory on that is, yeah, maybe there was a genetic mutation, maybe it's a different kind of bird, or maybe it's having a different effect on them. Maybe you switched up the poison a little bit, and so they don't die immediately by their nest. They die a little later. Or it changes something in their brain so they can't navigate. That's why they keep crashing into trucks, etc. The poison affects them in a slightly different way. That's only 1,000,000 times more rational than saying fireworks killed thousands of birds, or they all decided to run into trucks at the same time.
There's something fishy going on, Cenk. Like, I'm interested in this article. I think it's interesting that they're coming forward and they're saying, look, it was our fault. It was like, everybody calm down, right? Why did it take so long? Why did these firework theories come out before the truth came out? You see, they took a little too long to respond. All of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, it was us. It's totally okay. We kill birds all the time. Everybody calm down.
No.
And then there's also this whole phenomenon with fish dying all over the place, right?
No, the whole thing is fishy. By the way...
Literally.
Schwang, wang, wang. Okay. No, and by the way, they're only saying we only did South Dakota. We didn't do any of the others, right? Why is it fishy? And why didn't they come out with it earlier? It's a secret program to kill birds. It's called Bye Bye Blackbird. Okay, I mean, can it be any clearer?
Right.
So, look, some of the birds might have died for other reasons, not connected to Bye Bye Blackbird. It might be not pesticides or whatever it might be, and not every case is going to be explained by this. But all of a sudden, do you sense that maybe the purposeful poisoning of birds across the country might have something to do with it? Or that it's a more logical explanation than all these birds committing mass suicide or all running into fireworks at the same time? I would say that's at least a little more logical. Last thing, Anna, you're right. It's amazing. They're like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal, but since the 1960s, we've secretly been killing millions of birds, called Bye Bye Blackbird. And why? Of course, to help people make money. Because the farmers wanted to make more money, the birds were a pain in their ass, we killed them all. And then and then to follow up on that, JR, whenever we do these stories now, I think of you, and I think Michael Vick went to jail. We kill millions of birds, and maybe that's fine, and maybe it makes sense. But we as a government kill millions of birds every single year. Nobody goes to jail over it. Michael Vick killed a couple of dogs in a terrible way. I never agreed with it. I say that every time. He went to jail over it. There's a little problem with logic here. I've swung totally to your side, JR. You did it again. You did it again, man. And you know what you can say to folks now? Okay, this is going to take a little while, and play along with your iPhone app. You can tell everybody.
To all the non-believers. How did that? To all the non-believers. Especially you, Tom Jackson.
I told you Michael Vick shouldn't have gone to jail. Audible.com is the leading provider of audiobooks.
In fact, they have over 75,000 titles.
And you can listen on your iPod or your MP3 player. You can listen to it anywhere at any time. It's incredibly convenient.
And they have books in every single genre imaginable. You can get a free audiobook if you go to audiblepodcast.com/TYT.
Totally true.